And big news for Indians working in the United States. A US court has decisively ruled in their favor. It applies to all those who hold an H-1B visa. Their spouses can now work in the US. This will mean more financial security for Indian workers in America and another win for people-to-people ties between Washington and New Delhi. Remember, there was a concerted effort to make life difficult for such workers. A group called Save Jobs USA was gunning for the jobs of Indians. The court has ruled against them. Here's a report.
Foreign workers in the US are breathing a sigh of relief. An American court has upheld their right to work. It said that the spouses of H-1B visa holders can work in America. The ruling will benefit Indians the most. First, let's understand the basics. An H-1B visa allows foreigners to work in the US in specialty occupations. These occupations require specialized knowledge. We're talking about fields like biotechnology, computing, economics, education, research, journalism, medicine, and health. You need an H-1B visa to work in these fields in America if you're not a citizen. And these are just a few examples. Say you have an H-1B visa and a job. Your spouse and dependent children will get something called the H-4 visa. A lot of these H-4 visa holders also started working in America. This was thanks to an Obama-era regulation. It allowed H-4 visa holders to work in the US. Recently, a lawsuit was filed against them. This was done by a group called Save Jobs USA. They said the regulation did not have the approval of Congress, meaning H-4 visa holders should not be allowed to work. But that argument has been struck down. A US district judge ruled that the US Department of Homeland Security had the authority to issue work permits to H-4 visa holders. She said that the US government has been allowing this practice for years, and that the Congress has both implicitly as well as explicitly ratified the practice. On the face of it, this might not seem like a big deal. But ask Indians living in the US, and they'll tell you it's perhaps the most significant ruling that has come their way in a long time. Sure, Indians aren't the only ones who get an H-1B visa, but they get the maximum number of these visas. In 2020 and 2021, Indians got 74% of the H-1B visas issued by America, and the trend continues. The US has issued 100,000 work authorizations to the spouses of H-1B visa holders. A considerable number of these are for Indians, and the court has ruled in their favor. They can now continue working and supporting their families financially. Also, the US needs Indian workers. There's a reason why so many Silicon Valley executives are Indians. They are highly skilled, motivated, and known to deliver results. So this is a community which Washington cannot afford to antagonize. The US has taken a series of steps to mitigate the troubles of Indians traveling to the US. In September last year, the Biden administration had promised to help Indians out. Here's what Secretary of State Antony Blinken said.
We have a plan when it comes to India to address the backlog of visas that's built up. I think you'll see that play out in the coming months, but it's something that we're very focused on. These connections, these people-to-people ties, whether it's students, whether it's business people, whether it's tourists, whether it's family, this is what really links us together, and the last thing we want to do is make that any more difficult.
A lot has happened since. Last month, the US said it was reintroducing domestic visa revalidation, especially for H-1B and L-1 visa holders. Again, Indians would benefit a lot. Since 2004, Indians living in the US had to travel to India to get their visas revalidated. And that was a big hassle. It took months, if not years, to get this done. But soon, such visa holders will not have to travel to their country of origin. Instead, they can get their visas revalidated in the US itself. That's not all. The US says the wait time for visitor visa interviews in India has come down by 60% this year. And Washington has set a goal for this year. It plans to issue 1 million visas to Indians in 2023. It has already processed more than 200,000 applications in its embassy and consulates across India. So the US is finally paying attention to the troubles faced by Indian applicants and workers. It's proof of the deepening bilateral partnership and the value Indian professionals bring to the table.